What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about a film that will not just scare you, it will stay with you. The film is Hereditary, 2018, directed by Ari Aster, starring Toni Collette in a performance so raw, so devastating that people were genuinely furious she did not win an Oscar for it. 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, called the scariest film of this generation, and years later, people are still trying to understand the ending. Let's go into it. The film opens at a funeral. A woman named Annie Graham has just lost her mother, Ellen, and the way Annie speaks at that funeral, careful, measured, choosing every word, tells you immediately that this was not a simple relationship. Annie goes home to her family, her husband Steve, calm and steady, her teenage son Peter, quiet, just trying to get through his high school, and her younger daughter Charlie. Now, Charlie is the one you cannot stop watching. She makes strange clicking sounds, draws disturbing images, cuts the heads off dead birds, and was unusually, obsessively her grandmother's favorite. With Ellen gone, the grandmother who's dead, Charlie seems lost, like something that was holding her in place just disappeared. Annie is a miniature artist. She builds tiny perfect models of rooms from her own life, recreating moments, controlling them, shrinking them down to something small enough to hold. Because Annie is someone who needs control, and what is coming from for this family, she will not be able to control at all. The grief in this family is already suffocating, and it is only getting worse. So the family is trying to grieve, and then the film does something so sudden, so brutal, so completely unexpected that you will not see it coming. There is a party. Peter takes Charlie. She accidentally eats something with nuts. She is severely allergic. Peter panics, puts her in the car, drives towards the hospital. Charlie sticks her head out of the window trying to breathe. Peter swerves and Charlie is gone. Just like that. No slow motion, no dramatic music, no big cinematic moment. Just gone. The camera stays on Peter's face, frozen, staring forward, parked on the side of dark, empty road, and he drives home, goes upstairs, gets into bed, leaves Charlie on that road. The next morning, Annie walks downstairs to find her daughter, and the sound that comes out of her is not acting. It cannot be acting. It is the most devastating thing that you will hear in a horror film ever. The family completely shatters. Annie cannot look at Peter. Peter cannot look at anyone. The house that was supposed to be safe becomes a place of unbearable guilt and silence, and this is where the film reveals its true genius, because the horror here is not supernatural. It is grief, it is guilt, it is what loss does to people who love each other. Until Annie meets a kind woman named Joanne at her grief support group. Warm, kind, sympathetic, Joanne shows Annie how to contact the dead. A seance at home. Simple. Annie tries it and something responds. Something that calls itself Charlie. And from this moment, everything changes. Because Annie starts digging into her mother's, Ellen's past, and what she finds destroys everything. Ellen was not just a difficult, but a very secretive woman. She was the leader of a cult, devoted worshippers of demon named Paimon, who needs a male vessel to exist in the physical world, and Ellen spent her entire life preparing one, that was Peter. Charlie was never just a strange kid. She was a temporary vessel, keeping Paimon close until Peter was ready. Joanne was never a stranger. She was Ellen's person, sent to find Annie at her most broken, to guide her towards opening the door. That seance did not reach Charlie, it led Paimon in. The final act of this film is some of the most deeply disturbing cinema ever made that I have watched. Not because of gore, because of watching a family completely disintegrate. Annie, consumed and lost, hunts her own son through her own home. Steve does not make it. Peter runs through the house that was supposed to protect him, into the tree house, into the garden, where Ellen's cult is waiting. All of them, patient, certain, like people who have been waiting for this exact moment for years, because they have. Paimon takes his vessel. The body that stands up in that tree house has Peter's face, but Peter is gone. A crown is placed on the head. The cult bows, and the film cuts to black. No rescue, no escape, no hope. The plan worked perfectly, exactly as Alan designed it before Peter was ever born. And this is the most terrifying thing about this film. Not the demon, not the possession, the patience of evil. The idea that darkness can hide inside a family, inside love, inside grief, inside every ordinary life. And by the time you see it clearly, it is already too late. The film is a masterpiece, a film about inheritance, about the things passed down through families that nobody chose and nobody can escape. Watch it with the lights on and maybe call your family after just to check in. Alright guys, if this gave you chills, smash that like button and subscribe, because every month and week we break down the most powerful films around the world exactly like this. Comment below, have you seen this film? What moment broke you? I will see you in the next one very soon. Take care of yourselves.